Hi, I'm Colin Holter. I'm the composer of Diving Deep. Diving Deep is a collection of 21 piano etudes for young performers, young pianists. It's a collaboration that I did with a friend of mine named Stephanie Watson, who's a pianist and piano teacher in New Jersey. And Steph, who's been a good buddy of mine for a long time, we went to college together. Steph noticed in her lessons with young pianists, and I'm thinking like kind of elementary school age pianists and middle school age pianists, that they had a tendency, once they were learning a piece, to not really use their eyes so much, but to kind of make assumptions about what they were going to have to play next. So they'd be working on a piece, but they would kind of stop reading it at a certain point. They would just do what they assumed would take place next in the piece. So Steph identified this challenge that young pianists face, and she decided a good way to address it would be to have a set of etudes that were deliberately kind of counterintuitive, or a set of etudes that would present students with unfamiliar things, or musical material that they wouldn't be able to sort of predict, and they wouldn't be able to guess what would happen next correctly. So. That's how Diving Deep came about. She wanted a number of pieces that would explore things like unfamiliar meters or distributions of material within a bar in unexpected ways, or intervals that you might not expect to find in a piece. So I set about writing some etudes. I think I probably wrote 30 or 40 before we settled on 21 that we wanted to include in the final publication. And they range from very, very simple to a little bit more complicated, but they're all hopefully really fun to play. Steph, the editor, went through and made sort of teaching notes to each of them and suggestions about how to approach them. Some of them are designated rote friendly, which means you can teach them by rote and learn to play them by rote. One of the most important things about Diving Deep, one of the things that I like the most about it, is the illustrations, which are watercolors done by Willow Skidmore, a really, really talented artist in the Twin Cities. And I think that, before Willow's illustrations, the etudes were like interesting things to play and listen to. But once we got Willow's artwork in there, man, it really turned the whole thing into something a lot more special. And I think it's a really wonderful publication, not just to play and to listen to, but also just to sort of leaf through and look at the illustrations that Willow did, because they're really beautiful. I hope that piano students who are using Diving Deep in their lessons, or playing pieces from Diving Deep on their own time, I hope they find something in it that is fun and challenging, and I also hope they find something in it that expands their notion a little bit of what music can be, because some of these pieces are maybe a little bit unusual sounding to young musicians. I think that the experience of being stretched a little bit, not just as a performer on the piano, but also as a listener, is really valuable. A book just fell off a shelf over there. as if to say, I object. We should only listen to and play things we already find comfortable. But I disagree. I think that a publication like Diving Deep, a set of etudes like Diving Deep, is useful not just for what it teaches you to do with your fingers, but also for what it teaches you to do with your imagination.